Hello, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Drama Club. This week we discuss Gypsy Rose Lee and her mother Dee Dee, and then May talks about the twisted world of Rachel Dolezal.
What up, fam? It's good, y'all. Feels good, right? Yeah, I know it do. And without further ado, we broadcasting live from CA to NY.
Fucking Bruno.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, what's up? Welcome to The Drama Club.
What's up, y'all? Hope you guys are enjoying your summers.
Oh yeah,
Your quarantines.
your summer's in quarantine. It's a vibe. Hope you're all wearing masks right now while you're listening to this podcast. Put your mask on.
Put your mask on.
In solidarity.
Mask
Just kidding.
on. Fuck it, mask on.
No condoms. No condoms, but masks, yes.
Hey, is that song about condoms? Is that the mask?
I don't know. I mean,
Mask
maybe.
Fuck it, mask off.
Damn, symbolism.
Hey. That's what we call a metaphor.
Hey.
That ass.
Yeah, so Ellen happened this week. That's like the biggest thing.
Yeah. So there's been like a trickle. Ellen's people have been leaking, apparently. Not her people, but like, her office has been leaking.
Yeah, I think that they spoke to BuzzFeed News and they said that the Ellen show has like a history of just being
a toxic work environment.
A toxic work environment. That's the phrase right there. Yeah, that like people yell at each other, that it's like stressful as fuck, and there's problems.
Ironically, all things I've heard about BuzzFeed, who broke this story.
Yeah, seriously. Very true, May. And then Ellen came out and made a statement, which, I mean, we've talked about it before. Like, Ellen is a bitch that's like known in LA, like that she's awful to work for and that it's a bad place. But I mean, now people feel more confident, and that's the whole point. Like, that's good that now people are coming forward to say, that it really is a toxic work environment. So they dropped this story, kind of went everywhere. Then Ellen put out a statement saying that she takes responsibility, basically.
Which, I mean, she should. It's her name on the fucking door. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's like what she dictates the work environment on her show. She has to.
They know, the people underneath her know what they can get away with. Yeah. So, she gave out this little statement and was like, whatever. But then, plot twist, homeboy from Everybody Loves Raymond. Did you see that shit?
No. Who, Raymond?
No, not Raymond. Garrett?
Brad Garrett?
Yes, Brad Garrett retweeted the video that Ellen posted, like making the statement. And he said, "This is no surprise. Everybody knows working for her is awful." Yes, May. Hold on. Let me see exactly what he wrote, because I was like, did not expect to get tea from you.
I know. Also, that's kind of shocking because comedians tend to
stand by each other.
Stand by each other, like no matter what, even if it's not
to a fault. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he said, sorry, but it comes from the top. He added her at the Ellen show. No more than one who were treated horribly by her. Common knowledge, Degeneres. Common knowledge. And then he posted the video of her sending emotional apology.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild. I was like, damn, ballsy move, my dude.
Oh.
You know what? I forget, but Everybody Loves Raymond was a super successful sitcom.
Huge. Arguably like one of the biggest shows on TV at the time.
They're sitting on cash, that crew.
Yeah.
Yeah. And cast.
And that fool has, that guy, Brad Garrett, has like comedy clubs. I know in Vegas.
You always see some?
Yeah, you see like Brad Garrett's Chuck Lounge or whatever the fuck it's called, like at the Tropicana.
At the Chuck Lounge. Yo. And to top it off, this shit went down at Brad Garrett's Chuck Lounge. Damn. That's a vibe.
I want to get a statement from my girl Dakota Johnson.
From Raymond. I know, because I love Dakota Johnson for that so hard.
I know.
She had balls
That's
to step
not
up
the
to
truth,
Ellen. Yeah, that was sick. Good for her. I stand a spicy white girl. Hell yeah.
Dude, have you seen her house?
Oh yeah, we can't even talk about that they might as well have canceled that whole ass show after that shit. We don't need to see no more houses. This bitch got limes.
Yeah, she did
This
have
bitch
limes
loves
on
limes. Her hair looked amazing, her outfit.
Know.
Yeah.
That bitch can wear a blazer.
Yeah. And her stepdad was Antonio Banderas for a little bit. Damn.
Hell yeah.
You know she knows about that Spanish.
And she's third generation Hollywood.
Yeah, that shit's sick. That's a vibe too.
She's a third generation, and she doesn't seem like
Drew Barrymore
about it. Yeah, same. Mm-hmm.
Like very down to earth. I love it.
Yeah,
that's cool. We'll forgive you for that fucking 50 Shades.
Yeah, and 51 Shades and 52 Shades, however many
53,
there were.
54, 55.
That guy's kind of fine though.
Yeah, no, both good looking people, absolutely no fucking chemistry. Like every time I see them I never seen the movies, but just like on the red carpet or interviews, photos, like they look like fucking robots next to each other.
Yeah.
Like, come on. I thought that shit was supposed to be like hot. You think they were filming in the Andes and shit. You think they ate each other's ass, but not in the way that they do in the book.
Not enough ass eaten. That's the review of that movie.
Yeah.
2 butts down, not enough ass eaten. Oh yeah, so the BuzzFeed story dropped, and then today like a second story dropped after Ellen's statement. So now there's allegations of sexual harassment on that set too.
Yeah. Which, did you read what they were saying?
No.
It sounds pretty bad. So like they specifically called out 3 producers whose names I don't know because I always don't know. Yeah. But like one was a gay producer, would like grab crotches of other male workers.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Yeah, he like grabbed someone and kissed his neck and like would ask if people are tops or bottom. And that's what like everybody was saying, like all of them like would make these overly sexual comments like veiled in sarcasm. But it's like, you can't fucking do that when you're someone's boss.
Yeah.
You just can't make, even if, I mean, it better be fucking funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like only a very specific person could get away with something that is like borderline.
Right.
Like they have to like really be funny, first of all, and they have to like make you comfortable.
Yeah, it has to be someone that you're not in fear of.
Yes. Like it's really hard. Like don't do it.
Just don't do it because
you probably can't. Like none of us could do it.
Because that's like 1 person in 1,000, really, in your workplace. Because at any second, someone in your workplace can like turn like they can then be your boss or be in charge of you in a certain project or whatever.
Yeah, and then that shit's gonna get real weird real quick.
Yeah.
So and then another guy was like constantly, I guess, harassing women, and just like and then like all of them were making like these sexual comments. Some people asking for sexual favors.
No,
it's really bad. But see, this is great. Like, I mean, obviously it's all bad, but because the first group of people felt strong enough and took that leap and said something, now more people feel comfortable saying something, and that's really good because you want that kind of transparency in the workplace, because this shit is not fucking okay.
So I hear Warner Brothers Studios are gonna investigate, which
Good, do the right thing.
Investigate yourself though,
so right. Investigate that ass.
That's not the truth, Ellen.
And on top of everything, this shit went down at the Chuck Lounge, man. Brandon Garrett's Chuck Lounge. That's the best fictitious business name I've ever heard, man.
Chuck Lounge Bar and Grill.
Yeah. Chuckles.
But in the original story I read that like it was real shitty. Like that one of the producers was going around telling their black employees that they don't bother to learn the black employees' names.
Ooh, why? Because they're schmastist?
Yeah. Like, that's another thing that was, like, supposed to be a joke, but then also he really didn't know their names.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Man, everybody got better names than y'all. Fucking Brad, Raymond. Just kidding. I never really watched that show, but I remember like it was funny. Like if I would catch a bit of it, I always laughed and shit.
There were funny people on it. Like the mom on it's pretty funny.
Yeah, homegirl.
Yeah. No. Not Raymond's wife, like Raymond's mom.
Oh, okay. Remember Raymond's wife like had a grip of surgery after she had her baby?
No, she didn't. She did?
Yeah, no, but it looked bomb.
Oh, really?
And she was like, I remember because at that time it was still kind of like taboo-ish to get plastic surgery. And she was like, no, I had this done. I had this done. She was just hella on top of it.
I think she might have...
Doris Roberts is
Doris
the mom,
Roberts, R.I.P.
Yeah, she's fucking funny.
So, that bitch, Raymond's wife, she has drama, huh? Because she has like... I remember like she's really, really, really right wing or something.
Oh, fuck, really? That sucks.
Yeah. What's her name?
Patricia Heaton.
Patricia Heaton. Yeah.
She really didn't do anything after this, right?
Well, she got that Raymond money.
Yeah, they don't fucking have to. That's cool.
Yeah.
Dude. That's the goal right there.
Yeah. And Raymond's dad on that show is funny too.
Yeah?
Yeah, that guy also dead, R.I.P.
David Hunt?
No.
No. Neil Flynn?
No.
Oof.
Peter
Brad
Boyle.
Garrett?
Peter Boyle. Peter Boyle's Chuck Hut.
Peter Boyle.
Yeah, he plays the monster in A Young Frankenstein.
Ooh, okay. That's tight. Damn, R.I.P. for sure.
Is Ben Stiller's dead? Is Jerry Stiller still alive?
No, he passed away
died
this
recently,
year,
huh?
Yeah.
What about because now I'm thinking of George Costanza's parents. What about George Costanza's mom?
But that's not Ben Stiller's mom.
No,
What's that lady's name?
Ben Stiller's mom died like a couple years ago.
Yeah, she's got a cool career.
Yeah. So
does his dad, Jerry, too, honestly.
Yeah.
Estelle Harris is her real name. And she's alive, me. 92 years old.
Shout out to you.
Oh, yes, I mean, I've had a look.
Oh, she looks so cute.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. She got a good face.
Damn, you know she got those eyebrows tatted on too?
Fuck yeah, like back in the day.
Oh, she's the voice of Mrs. Potato Head in Toy Story?
Uh-huh.
Oh, cute.
Okay, anyways, how the fuck did we get on this?
Oh, she lived in West Hollywood?
Okay. She go to Rage or what?
Hey. Damn, she's been married to now I'm stuck on Estelle Harris. She's been married to the same man since 1953.
Damn! 1953?
Yeah.
You're due for a new one, girl.
Right or wrong? A moral decision.
There was an incident in the NBA bubble, or outside, outside of the NBA bubble. Lou Williams of the Los Angeles Clippers.
Yeah, it had to be someone from LA.
He left the bubble for personal reasons. That's happened.
A funeral, like he had permission, right?
Yeah, it's happened there are a couple other high profile players who got permission also, and then no big deal. You come back in, you isolate, and whatever.
Yeah, you get tested, you all right?
Yeah. Which, by the way, to all the COVID truthers and deniers, they're wearing masks,
right? And
they're practicing social distancing. 0 cases.
Yes.
Anyway,
but I digress.
Yes. So Lou Williams went to his funeral, and on the way back to the bubble, decided to stop off at world famous strip club
Magic City.
Well, he got found out, of course, and was served a 2-game suspension by the NBA.
That's fucking embarrassing.
And he said that he wasn't there for the women. He was there for the wings.
Hey, check. Dude, just the fact that you could make that argument with a straight face, they should have locked it down to 1 game only. Should have been like, all right, that takes balls. How ridiculous, May.
But then a whole bunch of people started popping up talking about the wings are really fantastic there. So low key, now I'm trying to go to Magic City.
I even saw this female NBA reporter like talk about it. She was on Deezus and Mero this week. I think her name's Teresa Roberts. And they asked her, they were like, hey, are the wings really good for Magic City? And she was like, they are though. She was like, they really are.
Oh, and I think Lou Williams has like wings named after him there.
What? You're going too much. No.
Hold on, I'm going to tell you what.
This is like a sandwich shop.
That's how much money this motherfucker. And let me tell you, so he's missing 2 games. So they're docking his salary, obviously, for 2 games. And it's like over $150, I think $175,000 or something. So world's most expensive wings. Yeah, here they are. They're called the Lou Will Lemon Pepper Barbecue Wings.
Oh, I don't like barbecue, but I like lemon pepper.
Yeah.
Oof.
Huh.
Hope it was worth it, dude. Hope you actually did go for some women also. Otherwise, that shit would not have been worth it.
And Magic City said they replied to one of the reports and said, we don't do curbside, but we're on Postmates and DoorDash.
That's funny.
And I saw that Kenny the Jet Smith on Inside the NBA said something like, he claims he was there for the wings, but he was really there for the breasts and thighs. I haven't had good hot wings in a minute. Like, I'm talking years, maybe.
Really? You don't like Wingstop anymore? You used to fuck with Wingstop when we were in college.
Yeah, because that was like the only wing spot. Like,
yeah. There's a wing spot by me called Barbecue Chicken. It's pretty bombies.
Even you being anti-barbecue?
Yeah. It's not all, like, don't let the name deceive you. They got plenty of options.
Yeah, there's like a dive bar by my house that has good wings, but like, then I gotta go sit in the dive. I gotta do the whole dive bar.
I think I've been there with you and your mom.
Yeah. Had to do like the whole dive bar experience. Like, you can't just be like, yeah, let me get some wings to go.
Right. Yeah, that's weird.
Like other moral decisions, it will have an effect on other people. Make them also choose right from wrong. Every decision we make, every action we take, affects the lives of others around us.
Okay, what's up, guys? My name is Stephanie.
And my name is May, and this is El Club de Drama.
Thank you for listening. This is the podcast about drama, scandal, celebrities, gossip,
Hot
biographies.
wings.
Ooh, hot wings.
Mm-hmm.
Strip club, hot wings.
Yup.
Yeah. This is a 2-part episode this week, and I'm up first.
Cool. Hey, did you hear that Michelle Obama has a podcast now?
Yeah.
I'm trying to hear it.
I don't promote anybody else's podcast now. Listen to ours. Michelle Obama, back the fuck off, Michelle. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah, I want to hear
I'm
the
always
first
taken
episode,
back by her book cover. Oh, I'm sure it's amazing.
because it's an intimate conversation with Barracks.
Ooh, how intimate though.
Hey.
55 shades, 56 shades. Talk about chemistry.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
You don't like her book cover?
No, I said I'm always taken back because I always am like, God, like it's so striking.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna do Gypsy Rose Blanchard.
Yes.
For this, I used the internet.
Hey.
I rewatched HBO's Mommy, Dead and Dearest.
That's so good.
It's so good. And I used BuzzFeed's article on the crime by Michelle Dean. Michelle Dean is also interviewed for Mommy, Dead and Dearest. She did like hella research on this shit.
Okay, cool.
The story of Gypsy Rose starts with the story of her mom, Dee Dee Blanchard. Dee Dee was born in Louisiana. Her father describes her as always needing to get her way. Even when she was little, she would steal her dad's credit card and run up all his bills. She would write bad checks, like if she would find people's checkbooks.
Uh-oh.
She'd commit petty theft. She ended up working as a nursing aide when she was pretty young. And then in 1997, she took care of her mother while she was passing away. And after her mother passed away, her family suspected that Dee Dee had something to do with it, possibly by denying her food.
Oh.
That's so scary, dude.
Yeah. So she's career criminal. And ambiguous moralities.
Standards,
yeah. Yeah.
Sociopathic tendencies.
Yeah. And she from Louisiana.
Oh, on top of everything. That's a very specific accent, might I add, in this documentary. I was like taken aback a little bit.
You from the bayou.
Yeah. At 24 years old, Dee Dee became pregnant by Rod Blanchard, who was 17 years old. And this is never like talked about, but I hella took a pause when I was like reading that shit.
Damn.
They had a quick shotgun wedding and had a daughter named Gypsy Rose, but Rod took off shortly before Gypsy's birth, although he did stay involved in Gypsy's life.
Okay. Also, he's 17 years old.
Yeah, like what were you expecting?
Yeah.
Immediately after Gypsy's birth, her mom became convinced that she suffered from ailments.
Mm-hmm.
At 3 months, Dee Dee started taking Gypsy to the hospital for sleep monitoring because she alleged that she had sleep apnea.
Mm-hmm.
The tests found nothing. So Dee Dee persisted, convinced that Gypsy had all sorts of other issues because of an alleged chromosomal disorder.
Okay. So did she self-diagnose this chromosomal disorder?
I mean, I can't even fucking say chromosomal disorder. But yeah, this bitch from the bayou thinks she knows what the fuck that is. So she has Munchausen's by proxy, which like, I mean, most of us have probably heard this story. And basically, how do you describe that, May?
Okay, this is my favorite mental illness.
Yeah,
and it sounds fucked up to say,
some of the best seasons of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Yep. Okay, so Munchausen's is a disease, is an illness, a mental illness in which it's almost like taking you're hypochondriac. It's related to that. You believe yourself to be ill, physical ailments. Munchausen's by proxy means that you believe that someone close to you, it's usually a child or maybe like
someone you take care of.
Yeah, an elderly person or something. You believe that they're sick, and in many of these cases, most of these cases, they make them sick.
Right. So that's basically what we have going on here. And Gypsy is a bebe.
Mm-hmm.
Sometime in her toddler years, her mom had her using a walker.
Oh, God.
And obviously, all of this abuse began so early on in Gypsy's life that she didn't realize that this was abuse until way later. Yeah, like this is her only normal.
Yeah.
Gypsy said that when she was 7, she was in a minor accident with her grandpa while on a motorcycle. And she basically like cut up her knee, but her mom like fucking freaked out and talked about how she was going to need all these different surgeries and all this shit. And this is when her mom started forcing her to use a wheelchair.
Oh.
But Gypsy knew that she was able to walk.
Yeah.
When she was in 2nd grade, her mom had her pulled her out of school to be homeschooled, citing the severity of all of her ailments.
Mm-hmm.
Gypsy taught herself to read by using the Harry Potter books.
Aw.
I know, that's sad. Around this time, her mom started taking her to Special Olympic events. When she was 10, her mom signed her up for some local parade claiming that she was 8 and she was named like the queen of the town.
Oh, she probably loved that.
Yeah. They moved in with her grandparents and then their grandparents claimed that Dee Dee was poisoning the step-grandmother while preparing her food. This allegation came out because the step-grandmother started having like her own chronic illness while they were living with them.
Out of nowhere, basically.
Yeah, basically out of nowhere. And Dee Dee started getting into trouble again, writing bad checks and committing petty theft and shit. On top of it, her grandparents started defending Gypsy. Like they were like, stop treating her like that. Like they could tell that like there was some weird control over her. So Dee Dee took off with her daughter. And after she left, her step-grandmother's health returned back to normal.
Wow. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. When they moved out, they lived in projects and paid their bills with public assistance granted due to Gypsy's supposed medical conditions. Plus, Rod was paying child support.
Okay.
They devoted their days to
his
visiting...
lunch money or some shit? Like...
They devoted their days to visiting specialist doctors around Tulane and in New Orleans. Mm-hmm. By now, Dee Dee claimed that Gypsy also had hearing problems and vision problems. Gypsy had a muscle biopsy which found no sign of muscular dystrophy, but through her mother's persistence, she was able to secure treatment for other alleged issues.
This is horrendous. This is so horrible.
She told all of Gypsy's doctors that she was having seizures, so Gypsy was prescribed anti-seizure medication.
Yeah.
She told the doctors that Gypsy couldn't breathe, so she got breathing medication and like a breathing apparatus, oxygen and shit. They would give her pain medication, anxiety medication, everything.
You know what I'm thinking of right now that you mention it? How hard it is for people of color to get medical treatment.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know, medical racism.
Yeah.
And it's like,
that scares the shit out of me, May.
It's really scary. It's something to be scared of.
You could really die just because, like, your doctor's racist.
Yeah. And it could be an unconscious bias or it could be a very conscious bias. Like, either way, you're fucked. Yeah. Meanwhile, like, this white woman could just be like, give me this, give me that, give me this.
My daughter can't breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah. She also had several unnecessary emergency room visits for minor ailments and even some unnecessary surgeries.
Oh, God.
They put a feeding tube in for her, and she had part of her stomach lining removed. This is all just based on her mom's convincing and manipulative verbal complaints and like verbal history of what's going on with Gypsy.
It's scary. So scary.
Super scary. Gypsy also kind of looked and played the part, albeit completely unconsciously and due to the duress her mom had her under, obviously.
Right.
She was like only 5 feet. She had almost no teeth. She wore these huge glasses and she spoke in an incredibly high childlike voice. Her mom shaved her head bald to mimic the appearance of a chemotherapy patient. And Gypsy was always clutching a stuffed animal everywhere they went. And she really appeared childlike.
Right.
Whenever they would leave the house, Dee Dee would take an oxygen tank with them and a feeding tube with them. And Gypsy said that she really believed all of her diagnoses.
I mean, you're getting surgery. You're given medicine. What would lead you to believe that it's not true?
And kind of like ironically, the medicine that she was taking gave her all these random symptoms because she didn't have any reason to take the medicine.
Right.
She said the only thing she knew was a complete lie was the walking, because she was like, I know I could walk, you know?
Yeah.
But she just trusted in her mom that like she needed to use the wheelchair.
Yeah.
Dee Dee also physically abused Gypsy.
Oh, no.
She would hold her hand in public and squeeze her if she would say the wrong thing, especially if she ever suggested that she didn't feel sick. And then when they were alone, she would hit her with her hands and coat hangers, and then later in her life started like tying her to the bed and shit.
No.
Then Hurricane Katrina hit in August 2005, which I know we don't cover natural disasters on this show, but it's such like
that's a scandal.
It's an incredible thing to think about, right? Like,
yeah.
Anyways.
Also, more people have now died of COVID than during that hurricane, and that was like unheard of. Yeah, the
phenomenon.
Worst. Yeah.
Dee Dee and Gypsy left their ruined apartment for a shelter that had been set up for individuals with special needs. Dee Dee told everyone that all of Gypsy's medical records and birth certificate was destroyed by the flooding.
How convenient.
They were then airlifted to Missouri the next month and rented a home in Aurora. While in Missouri, she continued to parade Gypsy around town. Gypsy was honored as Child of the Year by the Olay Foundation, who was set up for feeding tube recipients. In 2008, Habitat for Humanity built them a home with a wheelchair ramp. The story of a single mother with a disabled daughter fleeing Katrina just got a shit ton of press.
Yeah.
And then when they moved into that house, their community really rallied around them. Like they would check in on them, always like ask if they needed anything from the grocery store. And Dee Dee had set up this website, and like everybody would make donations straight on that website for them.
Damn.
In Louisiana, they stayed at Ronald McDonald houses during appointments. They were gifted free flights to visit various specialists. They were gifted free trips to Walt Disney World, backstage passes to concerts, and various other Make-A-Wish wishes.
What?
It's crazy, right? It's like that Onion article that's like, kid bankrupts Make-A-Wish Foundation by wishing for unlimited wishes. That's what this bitch did.
But why is she kid of the year? Like, what has she done?
Nothing, man. I don't know. It's like, so it's, I mean, and like, they're not living like a lavish lifestyle. I don't want to make it seem like that, you know, but like, she's scamming the shit out of everyone.
And you know, I love a scam, but
I know, but not like this.
Yes, not this one. Because this one has victims.
And it's like, I don't know. You're playing people in like the worst way. Like, you're like latching onto sympathy. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
It's almost like, what's her face? Theranos. That shit bothers me.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, because you end up killing like this part, like those people are never going to trust again. Like,
yeah, it's true.
You know, like it's fucked up. Anyways, okay. Meanwhile, her dad is still like involved in her life. He would send her gifts all the time. He would talk on the phone with her all the time. Mm-hmm. And he said that he would always make plans to go visit her, but Dee Dee canceled last minute or changed shit around, or they would fucking move like before they got into the Habitat for Humanity house.
Wow.
She told neighbors that Gypsy's dad was a drug addict and alcoholic who never sent them money and couldn't deal with Gypsy's health issues. Dee Dee had some of Gypsy's saliva glands extracted in order to be able to control her drooling.
What?
Which Gypsy said her mom would induce by using numbing cream on gums before doctor visits. The lack of salivary glands plus side effects of the anti-seizure medications caused her teeth to decay, and so all of her front teeth were extracted.
Yeah.
And then her mom would like parade her around without her teeth.
This is the worst story ever.
It's so fucked up. Mind you, she's like 14, 15 years old. Like, a girl of that age, the last thing she needs is her fucking teeth to be taken out.
And also, she doesn't know how old she is, right?
No, she doesn't. Thing? So Dee Dee had forged like various copies of her birth certificate, and Gypsy said for like 15 years of her life she didn't really know how old she was because it would be changing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's how deep this fucking abuse goes. Like, you don't even know how old you are.
Like the most basic thing that kids at like 3 know.
Yeah, they put up their 3 little fingers.
Yeah, they're like, I'm 3.
This many. Yeah.
Yeah. On one occasion, Gypsy and Dee Dee flew out to see pediatric neurologist Dr. Flasterstein in Illinois. He was instantly suspicious of Gypsy's muscular dystrophy diagnosis. Uh-huh. He ordered diagnostic tests, which found no abnormalities, and he contacted the doctors back in NOLA to confirm that the muscle biopsy had come back negative. Mm-hmm. So he straight up told Dee Dee he doesn't see any fucking reason why Gypsy can't walk. And he had Gypsy like stand up and saw her support her own weight. Mm-hmm. So he was like, no, Dee Dee's an awful historian, and like there's no reason that this girl can't walk. Mm-hmm. He also noted the possibility of Munchausen's by proxy, and he was like the first person to really like write that down.
Okay.
Dee Dee was able to fucking get a hold of Dr. Flasterstein's notes, and after seeing what he wrote, stopped taking Gypsy to see him.
What? But then how does it not end? Like, once you suspect Munchausen's, how is that not automatically CPS? You know?
So Dr. Flasterstein didn't report the meetings to social services. He says that his colleagues told him to be careful about that kind of an accusation, and that others expressed doubt that anything would be done anyways. But there is a lot of criticism against Dr. Flasterstein's decision to not like to write that down and then kind of like not follow up.
Yeah.
You know, because that's like heavy abuse.
Right.
I think honestly he was a bit naive. Like I don't think he realized how deep it went.
But even the suspicion should be enough to like,
this is a child.
Yeah, this is a child. Let's go have someone check it out.
Yeah.
I mean, because then if it's nothing, then it's nothing.
Exactly.
You know?
But at least you did something.
Yeah.
In 2009, police received an anonymous call that suggested that Gypsy was in better health than she claimed and younger as well. A wellness check was performed, and Dee Dee explained that she used to tell some misinformation to make it harder for her ex-husband to find them because he was a drug addict and abusive.
I see.
And then the cops checked out Gypsy, and they were like, case closed. Everything's looking good over here. Top-notch fucking investigation there.
Right.
Around 2001, Gypsy started attending Comic Cons and fantasy convention type events. Mm-hmm. She was able to blend in with the kids at these events in her wheelchair since she got to dress up in costumes and stuff. And so, wear wigs and everything.
Man, I'm happy for her. Like some semblance of like being
a normal childhood. Yeah. In 2011, she is tempted to escape her mother while at one of these events. She used her computer at home to meet a guy online.
Hey.
And then when they went to the event, she snuck out of their hotel room and hitchhiked to his place. 4 hours later, Dee Dee found Gypsy in the hotel room with that man. Dee Dee produced the false birth certificates and threatened to call the police on him. And he was like, hey, take your daughter.
Yeah. Fuck.
Afterwards, Gypsy said that her mom smashed their computer with a hammer and threatened to smash her fingers. She handcuffed Gypsy to the bed and made her stay there for 2 weeks.
What?
Dee Dee told Gypsy that she had filed paperwork with the police that she was mentally incompetent, so Gypsy would be unable to go to police and ask for help. They still had another computer, though. Hey. And after everything, they patched things up, which Gypsy says that would happen, that they would get into intense fights and then they would patch shit up. Mm-hmm. So after they patched things up, Gypsy started using the internet again after her mom went to bed. And in 2012, she met a dude named Nicholas Godejohn on a Christian singles group.
All right.
He was about her age and had a history of mental illness himself and an indecent exposure charge due to watching pornography inside of a McDonald's and fondling himself for 9 hours.
Ew. Wait, how did they... Why did it go on for so many hours?
I don't know. I don't think he was constantly fondling himself, but I think once they realized it, they must have checked the cameras, right? And they were like, oh shit, this fool's been here since 8.
He only ordered 2 things of McNuggets.
This is the underground McDonald's documentary y'all haven't heard of.
Supersize me.
Supersize this dick. These nuts. Supersize these nuggets. That's so bad. That's so fucked up. I'm so sorry. They quickly connected and they began an online relationship.
Oh my God. There's this show on Netflix called Love on the Spectrum.
It's so cute, May.
It's adorable. Yeah. It warms my heart.
Me too. In 2014, Gypsy confided to her 23-year-old neighbor, Aaliyah, that she had met this dude, Nicholas, and that they were talking about eloping. Uh-huh. Aaliyah didn't know that Gypsy was her same age, and honestly, Gypsy didn't know either at that time.
Right.
She also didn't know that Gypsy could walk and really wasn't sick. Uh-huh. But Aaliyah was kind of like a close friend to her. Mm-hmm. And so she tried to talk her out of the whole relationship, thinking she's way too young and scared that this dude was an internet predator.
Yeah. Because you think he's taking advantage of her and her condition. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But ultimately she thought oh, this is probably just stupid. So she didn't take it seriously. She didn't tell anybody. Mm-hmm. Gypsy at this time had 5 separate Facebook accounts, which she used to talk to Nicholas, flirt with him, exchange BDSM fantasies.
Whoa, how did that happen?
And have a full-blown relationship.
Whoa.
Gypsy says that Nicholas is the one that brought that kind of stuff in.
Okay.
And that he told her that he had these different personalities. So what she did is she made up her own different personalities to match his.
Okay, I see. Oh, so those are the 5 Facebook
groups, yeah. The next year, Gypsy arranged and paid for Nick to meet her mom while they were in Springfield. The plan was that he was going to bump into them while they were at the movies and they were both going to be in costume because it was like the live action Cinderella, I think. So she was going to be wearing a Cinderella costume and he was going to wear like the fucking Prince costume.
These are children.
Yes.
You know, this is something a child thinks of.
Yes. This was, or like a weird Disney adult, which y'all need to get over that. That's really weird. I don't know what happened to you, but this would allow him to strike up a conversation and for her to then introduce him to her mother. Gypsy said that when she met him in person, she was turned off by him because he's fucking creepy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Nicholas claims that as soon as they met in person for the first time, she led him to the bathroom and they had sex during the movie. Gypsy does not deny this. Did you ever watch the show with Patricia Arquette?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do show that happening in the show too.
Yeah.
By the way, Gypsy does not like that show. She
Interesting.
Does not, yeah, she says that they didn't ask her for any like, input and that they had no right to her story and stuff. They never asked her for the right.
I think there's another thing in the works too.
I'm sure there is. I mean, this story's insane.
Yeah.
So Nick flopped the meeting with her mom, but they continued on with their little internet relationship. And finally, Gypsy confided in him the realities of her life. And from that day forward, they began developing their plan to kill Dee Dee out of Gypsy's desperation.
But see, I'm wondering, just like knowing what we know about, like he's got some sort of intellectual disability and
multiple personality disorder, maybe.
Right. And Gypsy, I mean, she's been through hell.
There's no way that she's developed normally.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
Her normal is so fucked up.
Like, even if they are discussing this, like how much of it do you think is them just thinking like, oh, we're just talking,
like
fantasy? Yeah.
That's what Gypsy says, basically. Like, she says she didn't think that he would actually do it. So, in June 2015, one night after Dee Dee had gone to sleep, Gypsy let Nicholas into their house, handed him duct tape, gloves, and a knife, with the understanding that he was going to kill Dee Dee. But then later on, she says she didn't think he would actually do it. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
But you handed him the knife.
Yeah.
She's not that innocent.
Right.
Gypsy went and hid in her bathroom and covered her ears. Nicholas entered her mother's bedroom and stabbed her in the back while she slept. Her mother began screaming, screamed for Gypsy, screamed for help, and then died. Afterwards, Gypsy and Nicholas had sex in her room. They stole $4,000 in cash that Dee Dee had in an envelope and fled to a motel outside of Springfield. They stayed there for a few days while planning their next move, and Gypsy said that during those few days, she was really happy. She thought that they had gotten away with it.
Yeah. Wow.
Then these two dumbos mailed the knife that he killed her mom with back to his house.
For what, though?
I don't know, man. Like they didn't want to be caught with it.
But then you're in the trash.
And now you're like crossing state lines with this shit, like causing
damn
with the USPS.
Just go back to McDonald's. Spend a few hours there. That's less conspicuous than mailing the murder weapon to yourself.
A few days later, neighbors suspected that something was horribly wrong at the house when Dee Dee's Facebook made a post that said, quote, "The bitch is dead," as her status. I don't know if you know this, but you used to do like Facebook statuses. And you would just like write something for everybody to see. So hers said, "The bitch is dead."
What?
Minutes later, it changed to, quote, "I fucking slashed that fat pig and raped her sweet innocent daughter. Her scream was so fucking loud, LOL." End quote.
Why are they doing this?
I have no idea. I think they're trying to make it seem like she got hacked or she was kidnapped or something so that she could maybe disappear. It's honestly the most badly thought out and executed crime I can fucking think of. Like, there was such a goddamn trail to the planning of it, to how they were going to execute it,
right,
to the aftermath. Like, it's so, like, it's literally two kids, like, doing this murder with like absolutely no thought into it. After nobody answered the door, police obtained a warrant and found Dee Dee's body upon searching the home. Friends and family feared that Gypsy was helpless, likely without her medication and all of her support equipment that they thought that she needed.
Yeah.
Aaliyah told the police what she knew about Gypsy's secret online boyfriend and his name. Police quickly found his Facebook, called Facebook, asked them to trace the IP addresses from which the posts on Dee Dee's accounts were made of, and confirmed that they were all coming from Wisconsin, where Nicholas lived. So the next fucking day, they had a warrant and raided Nicholas's family home, where they found him with Gypsy. They both surrendered and were immediately charged with murder and felony armed criminal action. When Gypsy was first brought in for questioning, she pretends not to know that her mom's dead.
I mean, it's so badly, it's like you said, it's like no thought at all.
No, like it's so bad. They show like that first when they tell her on the HBO documentary, like the footage from the, the room where they question them and police, whatever. And yeah, it's like, it's just so bad. You could tell she's faking so bad. When the sheriff announced that they had found Gypsy, did like a little press conference, he immediately warned the public that things are not what they appear, and that this was an ongoing investigation, and that Gypsy could walk without assistance.
Imagine hearing that, and you're in that town that like propped these people up, and
imagine you're Aaliyah.
Yeah.
And how horrible she must have felt, to have known something and never said anything. And then the media got the story about the truth of Gypsy's condition, and their neighbors just like felt so betrayed and shocked. Aaliyah said she was destroyed upon hearing that Gypsy had never been sick and that she could walk. They felt like Gypsy and Dee Dee had made fools of them. And Gypsy's own father was shocked by the reveal because he didn't really know what was going on. He was held in the dark. Dee Dee's family said that they did not regret her death, and they refused to pay for her funeral, and they refused to pick up her ashes.
Good riddance.
Her father said that Dee Dee deserved her fate and publicly said that he believed Gypsy had been punished enough.
Wow.
Later, they had to get her ashes, and her dad flushed them down the toilet.
Oh my God.
Isn't that insane, mate? Like, he fucking says that shit like nothing.
Yeah. Your own father is like, fuck her.
Yeah.
She got what she deserved. Wow.
First-degree murder carries the death penalty under Missouri law, but county prosecutor announced that he would not be seeking that for either Gypsy or Nicholas because of the extraordinary and unusual case, and because of the fact that Gypsy had been a victim of long-term child abuse. Gypsy actually gained 14 pounds while in jail those first few weeks, whereas literally everybody loses weight when they first enter jail.
Yeah, so this is probably like the first time in her life that she's eaten correctly.
Right. Like, because her mom had her on a feeding tube.
Yeah. So she was on a liquid diet and, wow.
Gypsy settled out on a plea bargain for second-degree murder, and was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Nicholas faced more severe charges as he initiated the murder plot and was the one who actually committed the act.
And they have all the messages.
Stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah. On top of everything, by the way, Nicholas was printing out their conversations and he had kept all of them.
Wow.
So just in case the internet didn't have it on deck, that fool had paper trail.
Oh God.
Nick confessed to stabbing her and that Gypsy had asked him to do so. His trial was initially postponed when he was found to be on the autism spectrum.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he had possible diminished capacity. But trial ended up going forward in November 2018, and his attorneys argued that their love-struck client had simply done as Gypsy had asked. They showed jurors all of the text messages between the two, even like sexually explicit ones, which showed them using the various personas with one another and like all this weird ass shit.
That should be enough to tell you that, something's not right.
Yeah. Right? At one point, it came out that Nicholas said he had considered raping Dee Dee on the night of the murder. Ew. And at one point, like, that came out in the trial and everything. And then Gypsy testified on the third day of trial. and said that she had considered both having him murder her mom or becoming pregnant by him as ways to escape her mother's control. But she said Nicholas never responded to the pregnancy plan, so that's why they went forward with the murder plan.
I see.
Jurors then found Nicholas guilty of first-degree murder and armed criminal action.
Ooh.
He was sentenced to life in prison with a concurrent 25-year sentence on the armed criminal action charge.
Oh.
He is still serving this sentence, obviously.
I don't like this.
It's fucked up.
Yeah.
Gypsy is serving her sentence at Missouri's Chillicothe Correctional Center. She told BuzzFeed reporters that her mother had every symptom of Munchausen syndrome by proxy. Like, now that she's using the jail computer, she's like, oh, shit. She accepts that she committed a crime and has to live with the consequences of it, but said, quote, I feel like I'm more free in prison than I ever was living with my mom.
That is the saddest thing I've ever heard in my life.
That's fucked up, right? According to her family, Gypsy sometimes exhibits similar sociopathic manipulative behaviors as her mother to get what she wants.
What?
And I think that explains the murder plot. Like, the fact that she like made those different personalities to match this dude to get what she fucking wanted.
That's true.
It's a little sketchy, dude. But think about it, like she's psychologically compromised because of her upbringing. Like,
yeah,
that's all she ever knew. So of course she was gonna learn that shit.
Right.
Dr. Flasterstein commented about everything after it was all said and done. He said he wished he could have done more and expressed remorse upon learning of the horrific crime. Gypsy remains incarcerated and will be eligible for parole in 2024. And that's the story of Gypsy Rose Blanchard.
Oh, God. Free her, honestly.
Yeah, she said that, like, at the end of the HBO documentary, she's like, I think it's a harsh sentence because I don't think they take into account my life was a sentence, basically, you know?
Yeah, and the desperation of, like, somebody's doing this to you and you feel like there's no way out.
Yeah.
You know, an animal chews his paw off to, like, fucking get out of a trap. But, like, the only thing that she could think of was to kill her abuser.
Yeah. It's fucked up, dude.
Yeah. And what's his name? Nicholas
Godejohn.
Ugh. A life also?
It's heavy. It's super heavy, man.
Yeah.
I think my dude had a lot of issues, though.
I know. It's a tragedy all the way around. And is that how, like, I don't think Nicholas would be a danger to anybody else.
Except for McDonald's.
Except for McDonald's, except for them McNuggets. Oh, he looks scary. What's up with his beard?
No, he's creepy.
He's got, like, head hair on his face.
Yeah. Head hair on his face?
Yes. Oh, no. I don't like that one.
Yeah, it's not a good one.
Ugh. I want to, like, there's, so Patricia Arquette plays Dee Dee, right? But then in the upcoming one, it's like somebody else, like, really sick. Yeah.
Patricia Arquette's great because she's subtle, which I think, like, that's the scariness of the control between them is, like, a hand squeeze. Like, it doesn't sound that dramatic, but I bet that shit fucking felt like knives.
Yeah, for sure. No, I feel like children of immigrants know about that hand squeeze. My mom
pinched me on my legs sometimes.
Like under the table?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
She still fucking do that to me.
Children of immigrants also know the, like, eyes getting big, like, behind the person that you're talking to.
Oh, yeah, that shit's fucked up. Yeah. Whoops.
So, as you watch a chain of decisions in this film, try to see how various people decide what is right. Try to judge their decisions. The film will not judge. That's up to you.
All right. So I also have a scam of sorts because I'm going to do Rachel Dolezal.
Hell yeah. I shouldn't say hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I was just going to send you this picture. Did I save it? Of Lana Del Rey because you said you were going to do Rachel Dolezal. Did you see that fucking picture of Lana Del Rey with her new hair?
Yeah, she's blonde now.
Yeah, she looks. Yeah. I mean, she's always been basic. It's just she was covering it up.
Look now though, like
mom.
She just she does not give a fuck anymore.
Yeah, it was too much effort for her.
Yeah, because there was like a lot. She had to put in like a fucking bump it to get that. Like
she had to do her lips.
Yeah.
should dye her hair.
All right. For this, I watched The Rachel Divide on Netflix. And I read The Heart of Whiteness, in which Ijoma Oluo interviews Rachel Dolezal, which a lot of people cite as a definitive intellectual study of her. And also a month or two ago, I read Ijoma's book, So You Want to Talk About Race, which is so, so good if anyone wants to read something that like has to do with our current social crisis in this country.
Yeah, she's dope. Dope name too.
I know. I'm fascinated by Rachel. I find her fascinating the same way I find like serial killers.
Scammers.
Yeah, scammers, exactly.
Yeah.
And also I think that what's interesting about this story is like how society reacted to it. Like we start talking about race and we start talking about even like trans people, and
yeah,
it's just like there's a lot of topics that intersect that make it really interesting.
Right.
Anyway, I kind of want to preface her story by saying that Rachel's a proven pathological liar.
Ooh.
So keep that in the back of our minds when we talk about her. And also, this story is really complicated. It's more complicated than you probably think. So let's start. Rachel was born in Montana.
Okay.
The whitest of whites, Montana, on November 12th, 1977, to parents who are white and primarily of Czech, German, and Swedish origin.
God damn.
It could not get any whiter than this. Rachel has an older biological brother, Joshua, who is a professor of English studies and who wrote a book about their upbringing in Montana.
Wow, interesting that they're both educators.
Right. Yeah. When Rachel was a teenager, her parents adopted 3 African-American children and 1 Black Haitian child.
Okay.
Her parents believe that this is how her obsession with Black culture began.
Right.
Rachel says that it was when her brother was reading a National Geographic and that she looked at the people. I wish you saw Stephanie's doing the immigrant mother face.
I'm
right
sorry.
now.
What? Don't even say National Geographic right now. That shit's
like,
what?
Rachel saw that and said, according to her, it says like, "Oh, that's beautiful. I want to be that." But National
like a zoo,
Geographic,
yeah,
yes,
like a zoo.
yes,
What
exactly.
the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh, okay. So Rachel has said that she was born and lived in a teepee and that her family had hunted for their food with bows and arrows. Her mother stated that she and Rachel's father briefly lived in a teepee 3 years before Rachel was born and that Rachel's claims were totally false. From 2002 to 2006, her parents and adopted siblings lived in South Africa as Christian missionaries. Rachel said she lived in South Africa as a child, but her family disputes this. So she's a liar.
Right.
Like, these are all, like, proven things that we can point to and say, like, she lies.
Just, like, making her story all colorful.
She said that her parents frequently abused her. Her biological brother, Joshua, and her adoptive brother, Isaiah, have also claimed that they were abused by their parents.
Oh, wow. Physically?
Physically, yeah. Her sister shows scars in the documentary from when she was beaten. So, like, the family dynamic is fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is just my 2 cents, what I think happens. I think, so she looks at her Black siblings and, like, what they're being put through, and it's, like, trauma bonding. Like, she almost thinks, like, okay, how can we become more of a team? Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So, anyway, her sister Esther in the documentary shows the scars of being whipped, and Esther claims that she was sexually abused by the oldest brother, the biological brother, Joshua.
What? Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, shit.
And it's really fucked up because, I mean, that could have happened. Like, I personally, I believe her. And
yeah,
Rachel says that she stood up and said, like, oh, it happened to me too, to kind of back up Esther's claim in court. And
yeah,
now,
kind of like how she was like, I'm Black too.
Yeah. And now, like, Esther had to drop her because now, like, Rachel, her only witness is proven to be a liar, and it's like now,
yeah, all credibility goes out the window.
Yeah, so I feel like really shitty. Like, Rachel's a toxic person.
Yeah.
So her brother Ezra, her adopted brother Ezra, has denied accusations of physical punishment, but he later did admit to BuzzFeed that their parents did use corporal punishment. So, I mean, it's fucked up.
Yeah.
She attended Howard University, the historically Black college, and completed a Master of Fine Arts degree there back in 2002. Notice that her degree is in art, not Black history, not African history, not American history. Her parents and brother said that when Rachel applied to Howard because of her artwork, the admissions office assumed she was Black and awarded her a full scholarship.
Oh, shit.
Because her thesis, she only really paints Black people, Black images.
Right.
And then her thesis at Howard was a series of paintings presented from the perspective of a Black man, and it sparked controversy. Dean Hayes Benjamin, a specialist on Black women in the arts, questioned whether Dolezal was qualified as a white woman to tell this type of story. And a lot of her art is shown in the documentary, and high key, she is very talented.
Oh, yeah.
Extremely talented. Like, bitch, why didn't you just, like, stick to this? Like,
is she fucking crazy, mate? Oh, damn. She is really talented.
She's so talented, and she works in a lot of different mediums. Like, she does collage, she does paintings. Like, she's so good.
Wow, yeah, that's intense.
Rachel later said that she was drugged.
Bitch. I'm sorry. What? I just saw a picture of her in her fucking braids.
Her braids,
like,
yeah.
Bitch, please stop.
Rachel later said that she was drugged and sexually assaulted by a quote-unquote trusted mentor while attending Howard. In 2002, Rachel unsuccessfully sued Howard University for discrimination based on, quote, race, pregnancy, family responsibilities, and gender, as well as retaliation. Her lawsuit alleged that she was denied scholarship funds, a teaching assistant position, and other opportunities because she is a white woman.
Wow.
So back then, she was a white woman.
Yeah, when it was convenient for her.
Mm-hmm. She also alleged that the removal of her artwork from a student exhibition at Howard in 2001 was, quote, motivated by a discriminatory purpose to favor African American students over her.
Ooh.
At a historically black college.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I still demand to be the favorite here. She showed up and she was like, I'm white, what's good? This fucking George Washington ass bitch.
I'm white. I'm right. Get used to it. Her lawsuit claimed that Howard was, quote, permeated with discriminatory intimidation, ridicule, and insult. During the proceedings, the university's lawyers asked Dolezal if she tried to mislead the university by posing as Black in her admissions essay, where she had written about, quote, the atrocities so many ancestors faced in America in the context of Black history. So some people note that this is probably when Rachel began to see her whiteness as an inconvenience.
Right.
And it's also about that time that she starts to attempt to pass herself off as Black.
Okay.
And, like, I find it offensive that the moment where she's like, I'm Black now, is like when she puts on a wig.
I was going to say, so what does she do to become Black?
She, like, starts tanning and she puts on a wig and she's like,
oh,
this is it. Mission accomplished.
That's all it is. That's all it is there, guys. It's a good tan and some good hair products.
She was married to a Black guy around this time.
Okay. Did he know she was white?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. He was a medical school student at Howard.
Oh, damn. Okay.
And she had a son with him. Their son is so sweet and, like, smart. He's in the documentary, a lot of it, and just it pains me that just by her bullshit she hurts him, and you can see he's, like, in pain when he speaks about his mother, and, like,
she's not a dumb woman.
She's not.
Yeah. I mean, it's just she uses her wit for the wrong thing.
Evil. So she later described her relationship with her husband as having ended because her husband thought that she was too Black for him.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, because she used to wear, like, dashikis and shit. That's the other thing. Like, okay, so she claims to feel that she's Black on the inside, but, like, why does she have to be the most Black? Like, she got to wear her hair like that. Why she got to, like, fucking wear a dashiki? Like, this is too much. After Howard, Rachel moved to Idaho and took
I'm sorry.
and took a position at the Human Rights Education Institute. I think she moves to a place like that because that's where she could kind of
get away with it.
Yeah. I mean, to the extent that she possibly can as, like, you know, a white woman. Because you're not, somebody in LA, somebody in New York and Chicago is not going to, like, look at you and be like,
fuck no. I would love to see this bitch on Jesus and Mero and see them rip her apart.
In July 2010, she resigned and moved to Spokane, Washington, and stated to the local news that, quote, she had been the target of discrimination.
Okay.
She said that a noose had been left on her porch.
Ooh.
Her biography on Eastern Washington University's website states that while living in Idaho, quote, at least 8 documented hate crimes targeted her and her children. People magazine did a story about her, and they chronicled all the supposed hate crimes that happened to her, which were all investigated by the FBI, and they weren't able to verify not a single instance. There was back in September of 2009, she talks that was the noose incident. Then in November of 2009, she said that somebody put a swastika sticker on the door of her office. Then in 2010, she said that she was getting a lot of harassing phone calls. Again in 2010, a couple months later, she said she found another noose behind her home. But this time it was, she talked to her landlord about it, and her landlord was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. He's a deer hunter. So he would
so he was hanging the deer.
Yeah. And he's like,
get
it's
the blood
been,
out and shit.
yeah, exactly. He's like, it's been there for a year. I'm so sorry. Like, no, this isn't what you think. And she still, knowing that, still went to the police and was like, somebody is targeting me or whatever.
Yeah.
Then in 2015, Dolezal, who had since become the president of the local Spokane NAACP, reported that she received an envelope in the NAACP post office box containing an 18-page letter written with harassing statements and images aimed at her. However, the envelope is not postmarked, and Dolezal is the only person known to have had the key to the P.O. box.
Oh my gosh.
This is like some Gypsy Rose level of planning that she did with this one.
Yeah.
In the documentary, her son, he's like, he says it without saying it, that he knows that some of these are false.
Yeah.
But he's like, at the same time, I know that some things have been directed at me, but he's black.
Right. I mean, that's the problem, is that she completely discredits the actual,
struggles
of a black American.
Yeah. So shortly thereafter, just a couple days after this alleged incident with the letter, she claimed she called the police again to report that her son had been called a racial slur and was chased into a store in Spokane. But after they investigated, witnesses reported that no slur was made and that the son just walked into a store to get some candy. It wasn't a weird thing. This is abuse also.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and then in April of that year, 2 people mistakenly walked into her house because it was unlocked and they were lost. And she says that the 2 people attempted a home invasion and she felt harassed. But her son at the time, who was home at the time, said he wasn't scared. And the people, when they opened the door, her cat ran out and they went out and tried to help her find her cat and shit. So it wasn't, but also this is fucking weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
White people,
that is some country shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't walk into somebody's fucking house anyway.
Hell no.
So this is where it's important to point out that by all accounts, Rachel was in the trenches as an activist. She was out there organizing, marching, doing good work, honestly, on behalf of Black people. So I can't connect the dots in my head about how and why someone who supposedly cares so deeply about this particular community would do something as damaging as manufacturing fraudulent hate crimes.
Right. You could be an ally.
Yes.
I don't understand what this is. This is something completely different.
This is a sickness. She wants to center herself. She wants it to be about her. You know? So she doesn't just want to be an ally. She also wants to be the victim.
Right.
And it's really shitty.
That's so weird to me. People who want to be a victim.
Right.
That's the worst feeling, I think.
Yeah.
Why you seek that shit out? Damn. I want to be the victor. What the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, you want to be the one that's in power, right?
Yeah. That's weird to me.
Yeah, it's fucked up. Honestly, it reminds me of Munchausen by proxy. So it's
really similar.
So she reports a few other hate crimes during the filming of this documentary too. There was one where she took a picture of it. It was a banana on her car. Do we really is that what racist? Do we still in America think of bananas? I mean, as racist, you know? Like, do racists still do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So the university where she was working, Eastern Washington University, released a statement which said that since 2010, Rachel has been hired at Eastern Washington University on a quarter-by-quarter basis as an instructor in the Africana Education Program. This is a part-time position to address program needs. Dolezal is not a professor. Like, they went out of their way to, like, make sure she's not a professor, because Rachel had been claiming that she was a professor everywhere that would listen to her say that shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, she was teaching the Black woman's struggle, African and African American art history. Okay, you might be qualified in that.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah. She was teaching African history. I don't know about that. African American
Although I never
culture.
took an art history class about a specific region with a professor that wasn't from that specific region, actually.
I took Latin American art. I can't remember if the professor...
I had a Latin professor for that.
She might have been white, this person. So African American culture and intro to Africana studies. Despite not being a professor, like I said, she was like listing that as her title on several websites and stuff. And that's in part why she was elected to president of the Spokane, Washington chapter of the NAACP in 2014. The next year, when local journalists were covering the supposed threatening letters that had been sent to the local chapter of the NAACP and Rachel's probable involvement in the fabrication of the story, they were tipped off to the fact that Rachel is white and asked her in a now infamous televised interview if she was African American, to which she responded, quote, "I don't understand the question," and eventually walked off.
Power move. Throw it back on them. This is going to work right here.
I thought you were a professor of African American studies. You don't understand the question? Yeah. The interview sparked what would become the firestorm.
She did what like Tracy Morgan would do on 30 Rock. This interview is over. She just like fucking got up and left.
So this interview sparked what would become the firestorm that is what we now know as the Rachel Dolezal controversy.
Yeah, this is like why we all know about her.
Apparently, it was her sister Esther's charge of sexual abuse against her brother Joshua that indirectly led to Rachel's exposure. He hired a private investigator to discredit Rachel before she could testify against him in Esther's case, which was later dropped, and Joshua and the investigators tipped off the local journalists.
Wow.
It's so shitty. Esther has to suffer because of this, you know?
Because of Rachel, yeah.
Yeah, and this fucking, like, proxy war that they're having between the family. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
In subsequent interviews, Rachel would acknowledge that she was born white, but self-identified as Black because she felt Black on the inside.
Yeah, that was crazy also.
Yeah.
You can't be self-identified as Black. What is wrong with you?
That's not a thing.
What the hell?
Then she started...
also like the idea, like just taking that narrative from like trans people, like to say I self-identify as this, like that's fucked up because you're trying to appeal to that.
It's super fucked up. It's like classic Rachel, like she's fucking up somebody else's whole struggle that they're like
for her own shit,
balls deep in the struggle of trying to get this sort of respect, and she's like muddying the waters. It's like exactly what she's been doing.
Absolutely.
And she also started calling herself transracial, which is already a thing. It's a thing. That's when you are adopted, like when you're a person of color who's adopted by like a white family or something. So that has its own struggle, and she's again like muddying the waters.
That's fucked up, man.
Fucking bullshit. And this other woman in the documentary kept pointing out like how when she first met her, like when she became the president of the NAACP, she's like a coworker or something. She's like, Rachel would always talk about, oh, my Black sons, like start shit off with like, because of what my Black sons have to go through. Like she would always make her struggle, and she would always like make the struggle about her and try to like make her struggle bigger and more difficult than like all the other people that were speaking. So if someone said, oh yeah, I experienced discrimination at this job or something, she'd be like, oh, well, I found a noose.
Jesus.
You know, and my Black sons are in danger. And she's sick.
Yeah. So
let's talk about this transness, because the major difference between what Rachel's doing is rooted in deception, while a transgendered person is being true to what and who they really are. A trans woman is a woman, a trans man is a man. And like the more the science comes in, the more it's looking likely that being transgender, just like sexual orientation, is something inherent within a person. They're born that way, and it's probably just a matter of time before we find a biological or genetic source. Meanwhile, science continues to show that racial differences, aside from the obvious superficial features, have nothing to do with genetics, and there are no differences in the human brain between people of one race or another. Also, we're assigned a gender at birth, as opposed to like our ethnicity, which is inherited. So,
right.
She inherited her whiteness. You don't get assigned white at birth. And she's like, no, this isn't me.
You get assigned blue, and then these people have these blue flags because of blue lives and shit, apparently.
Rachel was either fired or forced to resign from all of her positions, and eventually said she had to change her name in an effort to find work because she's unemployable and on the verge of homelessness. She changed her name to Nkechi Amari Diallo.
Oh, gosh. Wow.
She gets a new wig towards the end of the documentary to go get her new driver's license photo with her like new name on it.
Yeah.
So she puts on this new, and it's like the most offensive wig, honestly, because it's like
an afro.
It's like a borderline afro, and like she puts it on, and like she sews it in, and she looks in the mirror, and she says, "Nkechi."
Oh shit!
Like she became
ready
her
for
in
my
that
close
moment.
up. Yeah.
Rachel has since published her first book on race, in full color, Finding My Place in a Black and White World, which, by the way, the documentary reveals only sold a few hundred copies.
Ouch, Charlie.
In it, she compares her quote-unquote struggle to slavery.
May.
Yeah.
Damn, what is this?
What is it? What is it? It's weird. It's
what
gross.
Is this, like, personality disorder?
No idea.
It's
the unbearable whiteness of being is what it is.
No, you didn't. Oh, shit.
So she makes her money now by braiding hair. She's a hairstylist.
Wow.
Rachel has argued many times that her insistence on black identity will not only allow her to live in the culture that she says matches her true self, but will also help free visibly black people from racial oppression by helping to destroy the social construct of race. Thank you, blackface white savior.
Yes, okay. All right there.
So Ijoma in her article says that if Dolezal's identity only helps other people born white become black while still shielding them from the majority of the oppression of visible blackness and does nothing to help those born black become white, how is this not just another form of white privilege?
It is. It is. Like, she literally, like, she was like, I'm going to become black because it was hard for her at that all-black college.
Yes,
so
exactly.
She was like, you know what? I'm going to become black now.
Yeah. And, I mean, and that's the crux of this. It's like the ultimate example of white privilege.
Yeah.
Because people of color can't do that. I mean, obviously there are like this.
But white people always get what they want. So she just was like, I'm just going to do this now.
Right. Yeah. Right. And you all better deal with it. And if you can't deal with it, I'm going to redefine what it means to be black.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just major bullshit.
It's insane. Yeah.
I think it was last year.
This bitch is crazy, guys. There's no other way to put it. Case closed.
Caso cerrado. And then, like, last year, she got in trouble because of welfare fraud. Because, like...
Man. No. That's so fucked up.
Like, she's unemployable.
Right.
So she can't get a job, and so like she's on welfare. Okay, sure. But then she got paid a little bit for her book, but she didn't declare those funds. So
oh my gosh.
Yeah, so then she owed the state it carried a 15-year maximum sentence. Obviously, they're not going to give her that, but
right.
She pled it down, and she ended up getting like 150 hours of community service or some shit. She had to pay the money back. But yeah.
Oh gosh.
Anyway, that's the story of Rachel Dolezal.
Oh my gosh.
If you can't find a job because of your Rachel Dolezal, why do you change your name to Nkechi Amare Diallo? Why don't you just change your name to like Sarah Jones?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, take that wig off.
Take your wig off.
Go live your nice little white life.
Oh, wash off the tan.
Yeah.
Raise your kids. She does. I mean, I feel weird about her relationship with her children, because like I said, I feel like it's borderline abusive. Like, just like her own shit, what she's putting them through for no fucking reason.
That weird thing of like stealing their struggle to like use as her own. That's super weird. That's almost like some dance mom type shit.
Yes.
Yeah, it's creepy.
It's weird, but she is very loving to them. Like, she seems like a very loving mother. So there's like this weird, like, I don't like it.
Yeah, it's fucked up. That's super complicated.
Yeah. And she does seem to care, like, her siblings. She adopted her oldest adopted sibling to get him out of that abusive household.
Wow.
And then her sister, she didn't adopt her, but they seem very close. Like
that's insane. What a crazy story, me.
I'm sure we haven't heard the last of her. Honestly.
Oh yeah, of course not. Come on. Whew. Well, that was this week's episode of Drama Club. Hit us up next week for our brand new mini episode. Hit us up on Instagram and Twitter at Drama Club Pod, and on the website dramaclubpod.com.
On the hotline, 505-539-0556. At our P.O. Box number 27433, LACA 90027. Only Rachel Dolezal has the key to that one, so be careful.
Don't be sending 18-page fucking letters. I'm not reading that.
Leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. Give us a tip. $1, a couple dollars on our website.
Hey.
And we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
However, whatever with your helmet.
Nice.